Good day, good afternoon, good evening. Not sure from which part of the world people are going to be looking at this recorded version, but first and foremost, wishing you all a very happy CX Day. Today, we have Hussein Malhas, VP Revenue Generation for Infobip, with us on this edition of the CX Chat Show. Infobip is a global communications platform that enables businesses to build connected customer experience across all stages of the customer journey at scale. With easy and contextualized interactions over customers' preferred channels. Access through a single platform, Infobip's omnichannel engagement, identity users authentication security, and contact center solutions help clients and partners overcome the complexity of consumer communications, grow their businesses, and increase loyalty. The company serves and partners with leading mobile operators, messaging apps, banks, social networks, tech companies, and aggregators. Hussein, welcome to the CX Chat Show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on this edition of the show. Thank you for
Thank you
taking
so
time.
much. Thank you, Muhammad. It's my pleasure and my honor. Thank you.
Brilliant. Hussein, before we dive into the conversation or the CX conversation, it will be great to hear, or you can share two lines. What do you do apart from driving revenue at Infobip?
Thank you, Muhammad. At Infobip, as probably you learned and you understand, we are a giant unicorn moving into really an IPO company very soon. So technically speaking, everyone, I would consider myself as one of the board members or the strategic players within Infobip. So we are trying our best to be as agile as possible, driving business bottom top, so we can collect a lot of information from the customer to build a really customer-centric organization. And this would happen, of course, if you provide the proper feedback and information flow bottom top, so we can really take the Infobip to the next level of the IPO. So this is more or less, it is a bit of a strategic role that overlooks business and overlooks what are the pains and really what the demands of the customer is all about nowadays.
Thank you, Hussein, for that. A quick brief about your role within Infobip. Really appreciate, glad that we're able to make up this conversation. Now, we have seen a rapid change in consumer behavior and the increasing digital world. Now, what role does personalization play in driving businesses forward, Hussein?
Yeah, people are really talking about digital transformation. It's like a big word nowadays. But some institutes are a bit stuck between digital transformation and automation. Digital transformation is a bit more holistic approach towards the strategy, where its main player and component is culture, meaning business culture. It has to be, you have to have like the direction from the top management all the way to from the most senior to the most junior. Having said that, it becomes very lucrative nowadays to do it in a personalized way when you approach the customer, because the behavior of the customers have changed. I mean, today, like the new generations, they are pushing all companies to adopt and adapt the channels that they are interested in while communicating with the with the company, not the other way around. We cannot push what we need, like the means of communication with the customer as much as they will push us, and we need to adapt accordingly. So this is more or less, it is very personalized, because you will see different generations approaching or requesting demand or information in one mean of channel. Another generation would be needing to use different channel or even physical channel. While you see probably from a demographic perspective, age groups matter, sometimes areas, zones, languages. I mean, when you have the personalized and understand the behavior of the customer, it will be more personalized approach using the appropriate channel from a marketing campaign perspective to a usage perspective from the customer. So personalization is the name of the game moving forward. You cannot just give one size fits all. It doesn't work anymore. It has to be really tailored and personalized per customer, per industry, per vertical, per age group, per demographics. So this is the difference between like mass versus more personalized. And this is really digital transformation. You have to look at it from end to end, internally and externally, and how you reach the customer.
Very, I would say, insightful, thoughts that you have shared. Personalization is the future. One size doesn't fit all. Digital transformation is all about the business culture. Some very interesting points that you have shared. Thanks for that, Hussein. Now, do you see any potential hidden challenges, ahead for businesses who are looking to enhance their customer experience personalization strategies in the coming days, Hussein?
As I mentioned earlier, it is, like when you go into personalization or digital transformation or having the appropriate customer experience, again, it has to be top bottom. And unfortunately, sometimes you would see like the decision of transformation would be coming from like middle management or departmental or one department versus others. However, to have a proper, like more than 65% of the companies, by the way, that have failed in digital transformation or lagged behind is due to the cultural issues. Culture means adoption of the mindset, like having the growth mindset. If I want to scale my business, I need proper buy-in from the top management. I need proper easy integration solutions. I want to be able to have multi-channels of communication. I want to have a solid CRM system that have proper data analytics and information. So all these, they have to be integrated together for a successful customer experience journey. You cannot have, I mean, like the marketing department or the IT department or the sales department, just one entity pushing for automation or pushing for solution, because it's not the case anymore. The data is shared among all, so you can build certain decisions, so you can understand what are the customer's pains, gains, potentials, positioning. So the most challenge, in my opinion and my experience, we have seen is the resistance of departmental resistance, or if there was some resistance from the top management and it's coming bottom top rather than top bottom. Leaders, CEOs, CXOs have to have the growth mindset, and they have to believe in it, not just like to be ticked as a box. This is the main challenge that that we have witnessed in terms of customer journey, like the extremely successful companies versus the companies who are a bit suffering and really, lagging behind.
I think you absolutely nailed it. Departments cannot operate in silos. Gone are those days. And for any strategical or any growth to happen, strategies needs to be adopted from a top to bottom culture, and I think that's what you have mentioned. So I totally agree with you, Hussein. Now, as a solution provider yourself, how do you think organizations can balance between technology and human interactions while using omni-channel approach?
Okay. I mean, from let's say from Infobip perspective, the way we approach customers, number one, customers have to have some type of insights. Today, data is the new oil. I mean, this is like it's a growing business, and it's a growing information. And with the introduction of artificial intelligence, everything, all the technologies are built around data. So we need to have proper insights about the customer behavior so we can service them well. And this is the most important thing, as mentioned earlier. Now, today with Infobip, we have several channels to approach. So the customer more or less need to have proper analytical view or proper CRM as well. CRM just to make sure that data are collected appropriately in real time, scalability, and in like with proper information. This will help the company or the entity to communicate with their customers upon their demands and needs, which could be in a chatbot approach, or in a conversational approach, in a collaborative approach, or even in physical approach in some areas. Because for example, if you're building a chatbot, you're building a solution, you're building certain information while it's being through machine learning, it's like the bot is learning what the customer wants and under which channel that you are collaborating with. There might be some questions that are not thought of, or an issues that might arise are unthought of. So that's the first step, where you will be needing, of course, whether physical or in-person human interaction. The other thing and the other need that would be like one of the channels to have personal interaction. We still have, I would say, the baby boomers and their surroundings. They are still more comfortable, I would say, with the 80-20 rule. 80-20 of the millennials and are into digital versus physical, while the baby boomers, I would say, they are the other 80-20. They still prefer the direct channel, the voice channel, the physical channel, versus the 20% who are digital savvies and who are seeing the changes. Plus, remember, I call it as like one of the measurement tools, which is patience and speed of action. The patience within the younger generation is running out for some reason, and you can see it in the behavior of the business, in the behavior of the purchasing, in the behavior of decision making, and it is exactly the opposite from the baby boomers. So you have to balance both, and it all depends like which customers you are catering, when, how, because by time these millennials they're going to be taking over, and we have seen them like middle management, like the digital native companies are mostly run by the youngsters, and you see digital digital adoption or digital transformation adoption is much faster than others. You see also from the banking sector, and the disruptive approach of digital banks now is coming, and you see how it's being opted in, and the new generation is taking over again from a usage perspective. So you still need both, to be fair. You need both, and it's a learning phase, and I think it will remain for so many years that you will still be needing to fall on both tracks. One will not substitute the other, but definitely complements the other based on, again, the customer behavior, demand, need, and passion and approach from a communication perspective.
Very well said. One doesn't replace, but then it complements each other. I think that's the way forward for every top management to look at, CX strategies. Now, one last piece of, I would say, last question before we wind up this conversation. What would be that one piece of advice that you have for CX leaders, who are planning to implement new technologies to deliver seamless omni-channel customer experience?
Okay. My advice, honestly, as we move along, we in the digital world, and how companies are transforming, we need probably a simple, integratable platforms that are easy to use with proper analytics, with proper dashboards, with really comfortable usage from a user perspective and from a technical perspective, because sometimes you see some very complicated or sophisticated solutions that could really give the administration team or the IT team some difficult time in terms of integration, in terms of addition, in terms of like add-ons, while others are easy and simple with open APIs that are easily to integrate with any CRM system or any tools that exist in the company. And my other advice is to have, if you can, as much as possible, one platform that can do the channeling part and the communication part, all the way that I can extract value and information and data from the existing CRM system that are there. Because if it is tough to integrate and work around, then it will be tough on the user part. This is what we have witnessed in the past, and it remains like a pain for the users, mainly the business users, because we need to remember there is that the technology or the IT team and the business teams, and to have them hand in hand together, you need easy integration for the IT team and easy to use for the business team. Then you will have really comfortable solutions at their hands to be able to grow the business and take the company to different levels.
Fantastic. I think that's something like a checkbox that all the CX leaders and the top management, especially who are driving customer experience as a strategy within their organization, need to have it on their systems day in, day out when they are implementing new technologies. Thank you for these valuable insights, Hussein. It was absolute pleasure to have you in another episode of the CX Chat Show. Once again, wishing all our viewers a very happy CX Day. Thank you for the time. Pleasure having you with us, Hussein.
My pleasure, Muhammad. Thank you so much. I hope I helped as much as I can. Thank you so much.
It was absolute wonderful. Thank you, Hussein.
Take care. Bye-bye.